Hello, my name is Dan Martin and I've been invited into the arrowvideostore to curate a movie marathon. I am a special effects artist by trade, so there will be some special effects chat in here, but the theme of my marathon is first times, which is a tenuous theme and really just an excuse to talk about film. So we're going to start with Tenebrae. This was the first Argento film I saw. It's a really beautiful 4K edition. I first saw it on a bootleg VHS in the flat of a Scottish man called Sandy, who had all of the films that I couldn't get hold of at that age, and also parakeets that had eaten the buttons off his remote control, so he couldn't pause anything, so it was like being at the cinema. Which is actually the best way to watch these films. I don't think I appreciated Tenebrae enough, and it was sort of opera that sold me on Argento, but going back to it a couple of years later, it was sealed as one of my favourites, and it remains one of my favourites to this day. It's a really lovely example of giallo. It has maybe not as much aesthetic showboating as some of the other offerings, but it has a beautifully contrived and convoluted plot that pays off, which is sometimes missing from some gialli. But yeah, it's an absolute treat. And like so many of these films, you know, we feel like everyone must have seen what we see and everyone knows what we know. But it is one that I come across people having not seen regularly as well. So Tenebrae is an absolute treat. Next up, to stay in Italy, is Bava's Black Sunday. Black Sunday I picked up on VHS at a car boot fair when I was maybe 13 or 14. I had no idea what it was, but I liked the poster, the cover art, and it absolutely blew my mind. This was very early days of me having access to a VHS player. I was still watching these tapes in secret. From a special effects point of view, it was the first time I saw the red, blue, light, black and white transition effects that obviously Chaney used for the Wolfman. But I was first aware of this in the resurrection sequences in Black Sunday, where the two-tone lighting is used to resurrect our witch. It's an absolutely beautiful movie, and it's a fantastic entryway into Bava. I really recommend that as well. I recommend all of these. I'm going to say it every time. A slightly odd one, Jason Goes to Hell. Obviously it's more modern, it's American, it's a lot camper, which you might be surprised about. Jason Goes to Hell is the 9th of the Friday the 13th films. The reason I consider it a first is I'd been introduced to this sort of like wide world of horror by people like Sandy, and I was aware of this sort of like this chase for the uncut, the unfound, the forbidden versions of these things, the stuff that we weren't allowed in the UK. It was always a couple of seconds here and there. Often it was related to nudity or sexual violence, which was not as interesting. But this film had like minutes of missing special effects by K&B no less, and it immediately became something I needed to track down. And so when I finally managed to find it, that was a delight. And it's a really fun film as well. Like the franchise itself is a mess. And there's fun to be had with most of the films, but there's something kind of unapologetically big, over the top about Jason Goes to Hell that I find really delightful. Yeah, that's a favourite of mine. What am I going to do next? We're going to get more serious now. I'm going to go for the box set of Tales from the Urban Jungle, specifically the film Naked City. Directed a sort of proto-police procedural. It's a film noir, and there have been police procedurals in TV before this, and I think they'd sort of touched on it in cinema, but this is kind of considered one of the ones that, one of the films that really set that up. It's also I don't know if this is the right order of things, because it's not like you need a palate cleanser. Maybe you do need a palate cleanser. You need a brain cleanser after Jason. It's a tight, crisp narrative. It's one of those movies where when you watch it, loads of other films that you've seen like make a bit more sense. You go, oh, okay, I see where that's from. Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful movie, and one I had not seen before this box set arrived in my hands. So that was a nice experience. I feel like I'm running long. More actual firsts. It's Fukasaku's Battles Without Honor and Humanity. Kinji Fukasaku, a name most people in the UK will associate with Battle Royale, was a very prolific Japanese director, absolutely fantastic. Battles Without Honor and Humanity are kind of the transition into what Yakuza cinema is now. Set in the post-war period in Japan, it's about the space, like the sort of social unrest and dissatisfaction, financial upheaval that gave birth to the crime that is depicted in Yakuza cinema. You can see like inspiration for so much Western cinema and all of Japanese Yakuza cinema in these movies, and they are dry and aggressive and delightful. They're really, really good. A couple more. I'm going to end with that. Okay, I think it's Damjin. This is kind of an honourable mention. I just love these films. They're sort of the same film 3 times. These are another one that I'd not seen before Arrow distributed them. We covered one of them on the podcast, Sam and I. They are absolutely delightful. They're sort of benevolent kaiju movies, which I really like as a subgenre. But the special effects are astonishing. Like the scale of what they're doing and the technical like balls that they had with this stuff, the sort of bigature work that they were doing is absolutely delightful. And they're just great movies. Big stone guy helping out beleaguered villagers. Absolutely terrific films. And then my last one, because I can't be in here without immediately gravitating, like I literally walked into this room and I knew that this was the film I needed to make sure Arrow still had the rights to so that I could recommend it. It's The Baby.
Baby is a full-grown man trapped by 3 women with no way out. The Baby, a Scotia International release, rated PG.
If you choose one film from this list, better than Black Sunday, what the fuck? That's not strictly true. This is amazing. I don't know anything about Ted Post, really. I did a job in America when I was in my early 20s, and because they hadn't sorted me out a visa, they paid me a stipend. But the reality of that was that I had to provide receipts to the value of my paycheck before I could get the next paycheck. And so by way of apology, they gave me access to the company FedEx account. And every week I was just going into Best Buy and picking up an entire paycheck's worth of, or whatever was left of my paycheck's worth of discs, and then using the company account to ship them back to England. And The Baby was a blind buy. It was in one of those cardboard keeper cases. I've still got that NTSC DVD, I think. I do obviously have this in pride of place in my collection at home. It is an incredibly sleazy slice of Americana about a mentally handicapped man being raised by some crazy ladies. And I feel like there's nothing I could say that would do it justice, and that wouldn't, in some way, negatively impact your viewing of it. I feel like you just have to know that you're in for a very wild ride, and that, as far as I know, when I chose this for the podcast, my co-host Sam, I think it's the film he resents me for making him watch the most. He was so cross. It's a delight. It's a delight. I'm sorry, Sam. But yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me at the Arrow Video Store. It's like I am 14 again and I have been left alone, unsupervised, in a video store. I cannot be trusted. So thank you very much. I'm going to fill my pockets.